we can go through it. So there we go. Recording is on. So everyone be polite. So welcome to Knowledge Nugget number 13. I'm going to call it Lucky 13. It's my birthday is the 13th, and my wife's lucky number as well. So this should be a good session, I hope, just because of that. This session, again, as a brief intro, Knowledge Nuggets is our intent to try and share our knowledge and skills and practical practices with the rest of our SDLC colleagues, as well as ourselves, and to have opportunities to practice how we present and engage people. And that's what it's about. So this today is going to be a very brief review of Enterprise Agility, our services, and the capabilities that support those services, because we sort of realize that not everyone has an intimate understanding of what those domains are. This won't give you that intimate understanding, but this will give you a very cursory run through each of those major elements, and we'll engage in some Q&A as we go throughout, so that you can provide your own thoughts as to particularly how each of the capabilities distinctly contributes to our overall offering. So with that, I'm going to turn off my video and share my screen. All right, just let me know when that's up. Are we good?
Yep, this is it. We see it.
Good. So here we go. So firstly, our overall purpose for Enterprise Agility at SDLC. So we have these couple of statements around our goal is to catalyze change to help enterprise leaders build fit, fast, focused cultures, right? So we're focused on empowering leaders to really make a difference within their organizations. And what we want to continually look for to understand if we're doing a quality job is, can we collaborate and engage with our clients to show and see that their ability to create value has improved, right? So that's our mission. And then how do we go about doing that? Well, we have a range, as some of us know, of really 8 primary or core capabilities that we leverage and integrate to offer those services. So I'm going to work through them, and I think we're going to go in reverse alphabetical order, I think. So first thing, right, increasing client value creation capability is at the heart of our mission. And then how do we contribute to that? Well, strategic consulting comes into play, and I won't summarize these now because we're going to summarize them on the subsequent slides. Service management, process improvement, and that leads also to continual improvement, which is shared with one other capability. Organizational change management, really important to engage people. Intelligent automation, again, I feel like I'm summarizing, but I'll avoid that. Capability improvement, business value management, and then finally, agile and specifically business agility. Okay. The other thing I did do here is I linked to our Enterprise Agility capabilities page on our evolving COE. The good thing about that is that page will continue to be updated to reflect what we're doing with our various capabilities, what we're doing to improve them, how we're providing insight to our practitioners and to our SDLC colleagues, and so on. So this will be available in the posted version of this deck after the session. So the next thing we're looking at here is a bit busy, but it's a view of the services that we offer. So we're going to go kind of right to left on this. So with the clients, if you will, on the right side of a value stream, we look at 3 major families of service offering from Enterprise Agility. The first one is that we have provided and can provide diagnostic or assessment types of services. We can do that. These illustrations of service names here are just examples. Really, the essence of it is that we can work with clients, and against the backdrop of what they're trying to understand or improve, we can diagnose what's actually occurring. We can do assessments, we can interview, we can review materials, we can review processes, we can look into a lot of things in a structured way to then assess their current state and make clear recommendations for improvement to take them to a more improved future state. So that's the first family of services. The second, and the biggest in terms of overall effort, is obviously to engage with our clients on how do we help them to catalyze improvement of their own organization. So we function in a sort of a servant leadership capacity, if you will, to guide and facilitate improvement activities. There's no point in us pretending that we're doing the improvement. Our job is to help them do the improvement by providing our expertise and our insight and skills. And then the third family of services from Enterprise Agility are the sort of more of a mixed bag of advisory services, They may be more ad hoc. We may do training for clients, host workshops, do individual contributors, kind of more staff augmentation for one of us to engage with a client over a period of time to simply offer our expertise in less of a projectized way, but more of an individual professional contributing approach. So advisory, and the final piece of this is sustainment services, where after we have helped drive improvement, we can re-engage or continue to stay engaged to ensure that measures continue to track in the right direction, that employees continue to be engaged and adopt those new practices, and so on. So that's the essence of our service families. And then we can see behind here are 3 other sets of enabling capabilities for us. The first, and the one we're going to spend most of the time on here, is our core capabilities. And I won't name them because we just looked at them by name, and we've got a slide on each of those coming up. But also this integration with the rest of SDLC, depending on the needs of the client, that we would pull in and leverage and work with our HCD colleagues or other colleagues from SDLC. And then finally, on the left here, we have our enablers of performance. I have a slide in the appendix that has more information on this topic, but really what this is the underpinning enablers such as management of knowledge assets, leadership, measurement, communication, process management, and a host of other things that help any work be effective and successful. So we wanted to make sure we wove that in to our overall view of how we provide service to our clients. So I'm going to pause here and see if anyone has any questions before I jump into a quick review of each of those capability topics, which is coming up next.
Nope. Oh, good.
And I'm gonna call on Randy or V, given that you're relatively newer to this series, and see if you have anything. The other thing I would ask too, while you're here in the team meeting that we're having, is make sure you open up your chat panel, because I'm gonna start asking you to contribute some suggestions in chat going forward from the next slide. All right. So okay. No other questions at this point. It's all clear and awesome, right?
Yep. So yeah. The integrated SDLC services, so those are more like, are you looking at them as add-ons to EA core capabilities, or do you look, are you like viewing them more as some of the things which the core capabilities may extend into?
Yeah, what I'm trying to show with this, V, is that overall, if you look at the right side, how do we deliver value to our clients? Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to represent here is that obviously the focus for enterprise agility practitioners is to be good at the things we're supposed to be good at, but also to show that most engagements, in fact, pretty much all engagements that we've done, typically integrate or engage with other facets of SDLC. So that's all I'm trying to show here, that we should always be seeking to deliver client-facing solutions that leverage the best of what the whole company has to offer, as opposed to pretending that we're standalone services that don't relate to the other services that we have. That's the intent of this slide.
Yeah, because I see a lot of the core capabilities, like literally being a part of every project, which are listed in integrated services, right? So it all goes together. So,
it does. Yeah. And probably it's a good question too, in the sense that it helps me clarify some of our other thinking, in the sense that what we see is we see the enterprise agility team as a host and a sponsor for these capabilities within SDLC being effective for both our internal and our client needs. So we look to trying to make sure that we, not that we own the capabilities, right? Because none of us own these things. These are industry standard functions, if you will, but that we help foster good practice, that we help to gather and publish guidelines, templates, examples, things like that, and that we make sure that at least the members of the EA team are trained and certified across these different dimensions of capability. So that's kind of the essence of it. But then, of course, hopefully many others also are getting trained, certified, experienced, and proficient at doing these kinds of things.
Yep.
Does that answer it, B?
Yeah, I think that like kind of delineates it. Yep.
Okay, awesome. And I mean, this, as we've all seen, I think we could sort of definitely say that this whole model, I mean, there are many models of how the overall SDLC solutions or services system works. and it continues to evolve over time. So this is just the variant that I use for EA, and we have others. So with that, what I'll do, I'll keep going, and again, I'm going to provide a very cursory summary of each of those capabilities, just a brief definition. I'm not going into details here. Again, this is a 30-minute session, and we have 15 minutes left, so that's not much time. The first thing, right, agile and business agility particularly. So I've tried to offer a brief summary of what I think of as business agility. So this ability for organizations to adapt and thrive, the ability for organizations to unleash the skill, will of their people, the motivation of their people, right, through teamwork, engaged teams, self-organizing teams, and this essence of continually refocusing on priorities and adapting to drive business success. So those are some of my really brief summary thoughts about why agile or business agility. Obviously, we don't see here software development. Yes, you can, obviously, many companies have used it for improving software development practices, but agile can be used for so much more. I've put in some very brief references here to agile topics such as Scrum and Scaled Agile and so on. And like the Scrum Alliance or the Agile Alliance in terms of associations or organizations that people could look to for more information. And then again, I have this question here, and this is where I want this to be an interactive session to ask you guys, what do you think? What do you think it is about Agile, based on your understanding, that is distinctive, that helps us, help clients increase their value creation? So I'm putting that there in the chat, and I'd really appreciate it if you could take a few seconds and think about one or two topics that you think what is it about Agile specifically? So go ahead and type stuff in. And as you do that, I'm going to also mention, as you remember from what we call our butterfly, that the center of the butterfly is our mission of increasing clients' value creation capability. And it's an overlap of all of these different capabilities, right? So Agile contributes with process, contributes with change management, and so on. All of them, therefore, share common ground. And that shouldn't surprise us. But I just want to mention that. And what I'm looking for here is, what are your thoughts on what is unique? What is distinctive about the realm of Agile? You guys are being very quiet on your keyboards. Let's see some thoughts here. And if you don't know how to open meeting chat, just roll over your Teams window, and you should see a little chat conversation box. There we go. Thank you, Tiffany. Great. So delivering features, products faster to the customer and built on their preference. Great. Thanks, Ed, inclusive of all stakeholders, and yeah, adaptability to changing market needs and customer demand. Thanks, Pete. So yeah, some good responses there. I'm going to go to the next topic, and again, this is a quick skim. And again, we're going to have that same question for each of these. So start queuing up your thoughts on the questions. So value management, a less well practiced or appreciated domain, I would say, in my experience. And a lot of the work I've done over the years around helping other enterprises drive improved maturity of different capabilities across a spectrum, this is one of the typically least mature and least appreciated ones, which I find surprising, because it's also one of the most powerful ones to provide clarity of what are we trying to achieve, what's most important, how do things connect with customer needs, with strategic priorities, and how do we provide that clarity so that we can implement measures of success and validate the achievement of that success through measurement and through other insights, such as feedback from stakeholders and things like that. So the realm of business value management is basically, it's quite measurement centric. If you don't have the measures, it's really hard to validate that you've actually achieved value, but those measures need to be well informed through dialogue with your key stakeholders and by connecting in with other things such as, again, as I said, organizational strategy, market conditions, and so on. Okay. So that's a quick summary, and there are again some references in here. Things like the balanced scorecard provide perspectives that can help with the measurement challenge. So again, I'm going to pop in the next question, and looks the same as the last question. So thoughts on what do you think is distinctive about value management? And Paul, I'm gonna have to mandate you put an answer in here, because I know you have a lot of answers on this topic. Yeah, what do you think? That's good, Tiff. Yes, most companies measure the wrong things. I have actually a really good slide on that around a topic called measurement inversion by a fellow, I think it's Doug Hubbard, who says, I think his book is How to Measure Anything. And that's what he says. He says, A lot of companies measure the least valuable things, the things that make the least difference. So yeah, good point. Yeah, that's good. The informed decision making, excellent. Yeah, and Ed, answering why, that's a really powerful characteristic of value management, because you're really trying to clarify the why to the extent that you can show it, you can describe it clearly, and you have measures of it. So very good. Thank you. All right, we've got 6 to go. So capability improvement. So this is the realm of basically organizational function, if you will. If you think about any organization, it's composed of a whole host of different functions. And you can think of a capability as just a function of the organization. It can also be considered an asset of the organization that encompasses the skills of the people, certainly. So competent people are part of the capability equation, but there are other characteristics as well, such as knowledge artifacts, such as processes, governance, measurement, and a range of other facets come together to form an organizational capability. And then capabilities get integrated to provide different services. That's pretty much how it works. The nice thing about capability improvement and the realm particularly of capability maturity is that it gives you a set of understandable reference points to gain understanding of where are we today in terms of our maturity or effectiveness of different functions, and what are some guideposts to take us towards a better future, as opposed to sort of idealistic best practice models, which give you the here's what really good looks like. You may not be able to find yourself very well or find an ability to map a journey from your current state, which may be quite immature, moving towards a best practice state. So maturity frameworks help by filling in that middle ground and saying, here's what intermediately good looks like, and you can make that step towards intermediately good before you try to become best in class. So again, questions, capability improvement and capability maturity. What are your thoughts? What do you see as distinct and helpful there? Yeah, so that's true, Dave, right? So role clarity is a characteristic of capability maturity. If you're immature, you often have fairly indistinct roles and you're getting by on best effort. Yeah, absolutely, Tiff. It does support continuous improvement and innovation. Although I would certainly say that's also true of many of the others, right? All of them come together in different ways to do that, but it's definitely true. Yeah, that's also very true. The understanding of the organization's ability to perform, it's a good point, right? You can equate, or you can at least associate relative maturity of different capabilities with organizational performance. And in fact, it's a good way to reveal underlying systemic causes of why the organization isn't performing so well. It helps you dig down below the symptomatic issues into what's actually causing them. Yeah, that's good too, Ed. The answer of this helps us answer, how do we do it, right? How do we do the work that we do? How do we integrate and coordinate the skills of our people with our artifacts, with our resources, with our goals, with measures, and so on? These things can all be integrated together through a capability lens, and you can see how they then get further integrated into a bigger system of providing services. So great. And team collaboration. Thanks, Randy. Definitely true on that as well. Certainly, one of the things we're doing is to foster our centers or communities of excellence around different capability domains, because we can help people discover similar professionals that share a similar background or share similar skills, and to work with each other to collaborate and develop better solutions and better approaches. So all very good. Thank you. All right, I'm going to keep rolling. Intelligent automation. I feel like I am not the best person on the call to represent this. So if I could, Paul, can I call on you to provide the 30-second summary of your thoughts on really what is intelligent automation and its key value? And then we can again ask the same question. Do you mind, Paul?
No problem. You caught me on when I took a big bite, but
all right. I can cover it if you like.
Okay, I gulped it. All right.
Okay.
So from an intelligent automation perspective, you know, as we know, like the COVID is pushing all of us into IT transformation. And one of the major trends that's happening across is, you know, how we can use the software robots into, you know, accelerating a lot of things that we used to perform in a very slower pace to accommodate the trend, the change in trend, as well as the change in manpower needs and also optimizing the cost. So the major value proposition is a consistent, quick, easily scalable solution who doesn't need bathroom break or who doesn't need to take big gulp and provide outcome in a much consistent way. And then second thing is, like we all know, data is the future, and the cost to create data has been exceptionally high because human being put data. It's first of all error prone, and second, the cost to create data is pretty high. Now these robots can create consistent data that will drive the growth, or it will act as a fuel for growth for the companies for the future. I'll post that.
Thank you, Paul. That's good. So again, thoughts from the team here. I mean, beyond what we've just chatted about, what are you seeing? Yeah, so good. Thanks, Tiff. Eliminating waste in manual processes, or at least offloading it off of people, so it can possibly function as a stopgap while you may rework the process through a process improvement to actually eliminate steps that are quite wasteful. So that can be a function, and that's sort of a business decision. Where do you want to invest in automate some stuff because you need to do it, but and you can't eliminate it. But yeah, that's a good one. Ed, thank you. Eliminating redundant tasks, allowing employees to focus on higher value. Absolutely. And yeah, Dave, reduction of variation. That's a key principle of Six Sigma, right? Is to make processes more effective. You want to avoid and reduce variation, and automation can definitely help with that. So very good. Thank you. All right, we'll keep going. I think we have 3 left. I think. All right, one of my favorites and one of, I know, Tiffany's favorites, organizational change management. So one of the toughest topics of the bunch, if not possibly the toughest, which is really all about people change, right? It's so difficult to, I think it was Machiavelli that said something along the lines, there is nothing so uncertain or more sure of failure than trying to change. I can't remember if it was an organization, or he said something along those lines. And that was hundreds of years ago. But it's challenging. But the good thing is, the benefit that we have is that there is a systematic approach. There are skills that can be developed. There are tools that can be applied. And we know many of those tools and have many of those skills. So it's a great characteristic, and we have seen the need to manage organizational change, to engage people effectively and help unleash their motivation to move towards a better future by using these practices in pretty much all of the initiatives that we've been involved with. So it's good stuff. So there we go. What thoughts? We've got 3 minutes left. We're going to make it. Yeah, so that's very true, Vishak. Sustained realization of organization outcomes is very true, because often we have actually, again, we have another different slides, not in this deck, on the typical difference between when you don't use OCM and when you do. And when you don't, you typically fail to achieve the benefits you're trying to achieve out of any kind of change. It usually doesn't stick. It usually doesn't last. And even if it does stick and last, it's often subpar in terms of the performance that you're looking for. And Tiffany, again, great. Employees are the heart of any company, and without their buy-in and engagement building, I'm just clicking more. Yeah, everyone fails. Yeah, really good point. And then Dave has a follow-up on the automation and predictability. Yeah, it's a good point there too, as well, Dave. Predictability really is really helpful for sustained performance. So good. All right, last couple, I think. Process. No, actually, I have this is the third to last. So process improvement, another favorite, right? So processes, as we saw earlier, really embedded in all capabilities. So process improvement is a natural facet of capability improvement, but many more people are probably more familiar with process improvement terminology, things like DMAIC, Lean, Six Sigma, process mapping, and those kinds of things. But there's no question that processes exist, whether you manage them or not, they exist. And the challenge, of course, is how to improve the maturity of your process management practices so that you can deliver greater speed, greater consistency, reduce waste, and increase value. So that's the realm of process improvement. And again, you're probably starting to hear a lot of these themes resonate, but they have unique characteristics from each of these different capabilities. So again, questions, pick up the pace a little bit. What are you seeing as distinct to the realm of process improvement that helps drive client value creation? It slowed down on me. Here it goes. Did that come in? I think it did. Yep. So what do you think? So go ahead, type in the answers again. I do appreciate your engagement. And just while you guys are typing, just to note a couple of other ones from our previous topic on OCM, that the workers needing to understand the whys and ways the business is changing and having the leaders involved. You know, that's a really good point, Randy. And I think the predictability of outcomes, are we putting that relative to process, or you might have outpaced?
Yeah, kind of. I think I outpaced you on that one.
That's fine. That's fine. All right, I'm gonna. I know my clock is out of time, so I will just take us through the next couple. But please do keep typing. I think my scrolling is not keeping up either. So I'm just saying. So thanks, Tiff. Increased visibility into areas and opportunities to tackle. Great implementation from the bottom up. Right. Again, have the workers, the people doing the work, actively involved in the improvement for sure. Dave, reducing waste and variation and engaging employees. You know, definitely. And Ed, you know, better process elevates the transparency of what's happening. Definitely. So all good inputs there. Last couple, service management. Service management is sort of found within all of these things put together, basically, which is a focus on the end-to-end of value creation towards the needs of the customer or the client. It's the integration of all of those functions, all of those capabilities and assets of the organization to create an outcome that's truly considered to be valuable by the customer. And hopefully, if you're doing service management well, you know that's happening. Because again, you'll integrate that with value management, you'll get the feedback, you'll look at the measurement, and your services will be successful. And again, to tie this in, you can drive adaptability of services and improve services through process improvement, through capability maturity, through agility, and so on. So a few references there on the right related to enterprise service management and ITIL. And just close this out. Someone might want to go on mute. I think that's what I can do that. Keep trying. How are we looking there?
I think I outpaced you on this one again.
That's okay. Oh, there we go. Yeah, great. I like that, V. Brings it all together and provides guidelines on how to run the enterprise. Absolutely true. And I think that's a really good point, V, because some people look at service management as a domain to manage technology operations. And yes, that's where it originally kind of grew out of. But again, much like Agile was originally used a lot for software development and has since outgrown that and become relevant to any organization. The same with service management. Enterprise service management is definitely a good way to bring it all together and to provide a comprehensive view of enterprise performance management. So it's good that way. Yeah, and Tiffany, organizational growth, staying viable within the market, organizational structure, Randy, thanks for that. Yeah, absolutely. So very good. Last one, thanks for your inputs. Last one, strategic consulting. So this is really our ability to interface well with our clients, our ability to ideally, as best as we can, work with them to identify strategic level needs, you know, really truly business impacting issues they're facing and ways that we can help them overcome and address those issues. So strategic consulting has a host of skills and competencies wrapped up within it. It's something Ed has been working on with our Consulting 101 series of training for SDLC employees. So there is a lot to it: emotional intelligence, relationship management, performance management. There's many things involved, but that I look at this as the essence of how do we actually engage with our clients to help them be successful and deliver strategic outcomes. Okay, so final thing, and then we will wrap and close. So see if I can get in front of V this time. What do you think? Strategic consulting, it's a pretty big open field. So what do you see as some distinct characteristics? Yeah, I like that, Dave. Develops a true partnership with the client and delivering a holistic solution, as opposed to, for instance, a piecemeal solution or just a small component, which may superficially appear to be good, but in the long run doesn't provide a lot of beneficial impact. So, yep, good point. And again, the whole topic of a partnership, right? I think that's so important that we build trusting partnership relationships with our clients. Yep, same thing, Randy, for you, right? Provide our experience, what we've done, be an advisor, right? We're not there to tell people what to do, but we're there to help. We're there to coach, facilitate. Yeah, long-term engagement, Paul, definitely. You know, that opportunity to engage long-term. And V, bringing together those perspectives and experiences. I mean, that's what clients look for from consultants, right? They're looking for our perspectives and experiences where we've covered a range of industries and a range of different kind of functional domains to help them with their needs. Right? So excellent, very good. The last slide I have is really just a different variant of the summary of our capabilities. So we're out of time. Thanks very much. I really do appreciate everyone's input to these. Randy's final point there on the chat, when we are successful when we build a stronger relationship, and that's absolutely true as well. So thanks very much. I'm glad to have done another Knowledge Nugget. So 13 is in the bag, and look forward to the next one. Thank you very much, folks.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. That was good.
Great. Thanks, Randy. Thanks, everyone.
All right, take care.